You are now listening to Regular Guys Podcast. We welcome all to episode 4 of Regular Guys Podcast. I am your host, Matty Ice, back again. We're so excited that you, the regulars, are also back for another week. I am joined by my guy, Jake. Jake, tell the people what is good, man.
What's up, guys? Appreciate you coming out and listening. I don't know why I say coming out. Y'all still at home. You're listening on your phones. But listen, we appreciate the support, guys. We're trying to get better every day, every week. So hope you guys enjoy this episode.
Yeah, man, definitely. And last week we had a first special guest. So why not keep that thing going? Although PJ can't be here, we look for another special guest. So this week we are joined by Jason. Jason, tell the people hello, man.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm glad to be on the podcast with my brothers, and I definitely can't wait to talk sports and talk about other topics. Thank you for having me on, guys.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a good show. We have a good show prepared for you guys. NFL draft is going on right now as we speak. So what better way than to dig into the biggest hits and misses in both the NFL and the NBA? Of course, we will go off topic with some news in both sports to cover those. And then we will end it off with the hype. So, gentlemen, to get us started, let's look into the biggest hits and misses. And so for you who are listening, to clarify, what do we mean by biggest misses, biggest hits? Well, biggest misses meaning you're drafted in the first overall, you're dubbed a potential game changer, franchise player, if you will, and you are straight garbage. Like you're not even in the league right now. Biggest hits, you're drafted in the second round and beyond. No one expected you to contribute, and you become a franchise player, a game changer in your perspective position. So to begin, Jake, who is your biggest miss?
So my biggest miss is EJ Manuel. He was drafted 16th overall, in the first round in the 2013 NFL draft. He was the Bills quarterback. He started 10 games that first year, which, every quarterback, every rookie has, their ups and downs. So you don't really want to judge him on the first year, right? He went 11 touchdowns, 9 picks, not that good of a ratio. And then year 2, he only played 5 games, started 4. So that shows, all right, they tried a little bit, but he just didn't improve. 5 touchdowns, 3 picks, and it just got worse every year. And he's not even in the league anymore. At age 27 was his last season. So that just tells you that's a big bust. First round pick.
Yeah, man. I'm actually going to agree with you on that one, and for a simple reason. EJ Manuel was drafted out of Florida State. I'm a Gators fan. I don't get down with Florida State like that, bro. So, in my eyes, a lot of people who come out of Florida State are bust, but that's for a different topic. But Jake, give me an honorable mention that you feel is worthy of that bust label as well.
So I got to give this one a shout out to our guest today, Jason. He brought this up to me. We were discussing about this. Johnny Football, Johnny Manziel. I can't believe I forgot about this guy. So apparently, I was looking through his stats. He played 2 seasons. First season, he started 5 games. He started 2, played 5. And then season 2, he only played 9 games. And his stats for his career, 7 touchdowns, 7 picks. That's ridiculous.
That's bad, man.
For a second, granted, it was late in the first, 22nd overall, but that's still a first-round quarterback. And his career stats, 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's garbage, as you would say.
Yeah, he definitely fell into that long line of Browns quarterbacks that just couldn't get it done. And it sucks, man, because Johnny Football was electric. Texas A&M, we were all at home throwing up the money signs every time he did something good. He was almost like Houdini, if you will. Like he just disappeared, but as soon as something went wrong, somehow the ball ended up in the end zone. I mean, He showed it against Alabama that one year that they played. But yeah, he got to the league and he just couldn't figure it out. I think he even went, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like he's in some fan controlled league right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
And
So
I know.
that would have show you how far Johnny football has really fallen. He's not even playing. I mean, I don't even, who is anybody watching this? I just realized this, I just found this out the other day that this was a real thing.
He's also 28. That's the crazy part. Like, if you look at Johnny, like, life hit him hard after
Mhm.
football. I know he had off the field issues. And at one point, I was like, oh, this man's like in his 30s just of how he looked. But he's only 28. He's
Yeah,
still
man.
super young. His last season in the NFL, he was 23 years old.
Yeah.
Wow. It's been that long.
It's been that long.
Yeah. It
And
was
that
quick.
league that he's playing in now, Josh Gordon is there too on the same
Oh,
team.
goodness.
So,
Yeah.
that team, yeah. We don't have to discuss their off the field activities, but
And I think they even got bounced though. I think I read because I think Destroying, if you follow him on YouTube, he owns a team. And I don't know if he owns that team per se, but I know that the team that I think Johnny Football and Josh Gordon, like you said, I think they're on the same team. And I think in their playoff or whatever, they got bounced first round. I'm like,
Yeah.
y'all was in the playoffs. I mean, y'all was in the Super Bowl, in the NFL. How y'all? I mean, I don't even know who else is in this league. Sounds like a bunch of nobodies.
That league is actually it's kind of like arena football because I've seen a couple of things on Instagram and it's indoor controlled. So
yeah,
got some wacky
rules
uniforms.
and what? Yeah.
Yeah.
But continuing on with our biggest misses, Jason, tell us who your biggest misses are, man.
Yeah. My first choice is Vince Young. Vince Young is my first choice. He was drafted third overall in 2006. I mean, he had everything coming out of college. I mean, Heisman Trophy winner. Won the national championship with Texas, beating USC. Man. I mean, you can argue that was probably one of the best games ever, championship games ever. And to this day, I have a sour mouth because I kind of had a bet with a few of my friends that USC was going to win. But hey, it is what it is. But I mean, he went to the league, drafted by the Titans. He did pretty well his first few years, but he had off the field issues. He also at one point he disappeared out of nowhere. They couldn't find him for 4 or 5 hours. Which is crazy. But Coach Fisher and the police were able to get him to the team facility, to get him there. But yeah, I mean, he had some off the field issues that really plagued his playing career because he was one. I mean, you can argue he was one of the one in a lifetime talents that ever came out of college.
Yeah, generational type quarterback.
Generational. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so he was compared to Steve McNair. They did play together there at Tennessee. Compared to Mike Vick. So that's my first choice. And
what my honorable mention.
Yeah, and my honorable mention is Reuben Foster. He was picked 31st in 2017 in the first round. The reason why he's my honorable mention is because in Alabama he was a ferocious linebacker.
Yeah, he was that guy, man.
Yeah. Hard hitting, very smart. Cover his territory pretty well from sideline to sideline. And when he went to the 49ers, he did play pretty well the first 2 years, and then he got into some legal issues to the point where, he went to Washington after that, Washington Nationals. Not Nationals, I'm sorry, Washington football team.
It's all good, man. We're the regulars. We're regular guys.
Yeah, Washington football team. And he's not playing currently due to off-field issues. But another talent that came out of Saban's NFL factory that became a bust, and those are my choices.
Yeah, man, I definitely agree with you guys' choices. As far as for my biggest misses, I had to start mine with the man himself, Jamarcus Russell. This guy was drafted first overall, 2007, over guys like Megatron. I think Adrian Peterson was also part of this class. So with saying those names in itself, Adrian Peterson, Calvin Johnson, more than likely will both become. Or I think Calvin Johnson did get into the Hall of Fame. Adrian Peterson will probably get there, when he decides to hang it up. But man, Jamarcus Russell had a phenomenal year that year with LSU. Unbelievable arm talent. Like he was kind of in that same sense of Vince. He was supposed to elevate the quarterback game and take it to the next level. I think it was even reported that during his pro day, threw a 70-yard pass from his knees, which is crazy. From his knees, man. That's wild. I mean, maybe he saw something first before Mahomes did, throwing, bombs and stuff from his knees. But yeah, it was crazy. And then he was coming to camp overweight, not in shape, not studying film. And for those of you who are listening, you might know the story, but the Raiders had a feeling he was not studying for the games, game plans and whatnot. So apparently what they did to see if it was true, they sent him home with the quote unquote game film for that week, but it was blank. They wanted to actually see if Jamarcus was studying. Next day, they came back. They said, "Oh, Jamarcus, what did you think of, the game plan?" And my guy sat there and said, "Oh, it looked great." How can it look great, bro? It's blank. I don't get what? It's blank, bro. Like, are we for real right now, man? Like, so that's my my main guy for biggest miss. It sucks, man, because that was when SEC football in college was at its all-time peak, I feel. 06, 07, where the SEC was about to show the world that they were going to become dominant. And he was special, man. He was really special. So to get to the league and just, bro, you're not even watching film, bro. Like, what are we doing? That's just crazy. That's real crazy, man.
That's so wild.
That is, man.
Yeah, Coach, it was great.
Yeah, it was great.
It was great, Coach. I loved it.
Wait, I actually had to look up some stats on him real quick. His 40 time?
Oh, it was bad, bro.
Actually, it was a 4.8.
Oh, wow. I thought it said it was like 4.9.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
Yeah, he was a little heavy set, but it was okay because of the arm. And in that time, in that day and age of 07, a mobile quarterback, I feel, wasn't like a big prize possession where like now you will take the mobile, even if it's somewhat, that 4.7, 4.6 range, that's fine. So I mean, I can live with 4.8. That's not bad. It was just, goodness, man.
And even being big, I mean, he got drafted in 07, you said, right?
Yeah.
Big Ben was already establishing himself in the league.
Yeah.
In 07.
Yeah.
So having a big, heavy set quarterback, you were like, oh, whatever. They can just sit in the pocket, take some hits.
Yeah, take the hits.
Yeah.
But
and for my honorable mention, I got to go to Trent Richardson. Man, this one I'm still salty to this day. Colts fans, you share my pain. We got that text. Trent Richardson trade to the Colts. Oh, we talking Super Bowls, baby. No, that guy was trash too, man. Sucked, bro. My guy couldn't read blocking assignments. It was just.
I thought he couldn't read. I was like, well, that's the first mistake.
I mean, he probably couldn't do that either. He probably couldn't read the numbers on the back of the jerseys if he's literally just head down running into the pile. It was bad, man. But those are some of our biggest misses. Let us know down in the comments if you agree with us, or maybe you have someone that we're not thinking of. We know there are so many people, so many biggest misses in the last couple of years, decades, if you will, of biggest misses. But now we want to get into our biggest hits of the NFL draft. So, Jason, who do you have as your biggest hits, man?
Yeah, my biggest hit, my first choice is Derrick Henry. And some people say that, why is that your biggest hit? Well, even though he won the Heisman Trophy at Alabama and ran for 2,000 yards that year, um, he was picked in the second round because in the likes of Trent Richardson, especially after him, because he was the most recent back before he came along and became the number one back in Alabama. So a lot of teams in the NFL were thinking, man, this might be another Trent Richardson. He might be a bust. I don't want to take him in the first round, so they overlooked him.
Yeah.
To the point where now you can argue he's the best back in the league right now. I mean, he's killing it, and he's only getting better. And it's crazy to see a man that's 6'3" and probably 240, 250, running
tank,
that
man.
fast.
He is a tank. And
Yes.
the Colts got to see that guy twice a year, bro. I don't look forward to it at all. Because know what's happening. You know what's going to happen. You just can't stop it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What do you have as an honorable mention?
Yeah, my honorable mention is Alvin Kamara from the Saints. It's crazy because I think he was in the same running back class with Derrick Henry at Alabama, and there was so many backs in Alabama. He just transferred and went to JUCO, like you mentioned, Matt, and also eventually went to Tennessee. And he got drafted in the third round, and you can make the case for him as being one of the best backs in the league, top five.
Yeah.
Top five, or even the best all-purpose back you can get in the NFL, because he can do it all, from running in the ball, catching the ball. So that's definitely my two biggest hits.
And I feel like with Alvin, his case I feel can be even more stated for potential being the best. Like, he came into the league and he automatically had to split carries with Ingram. So then Ingram leaves, and it's like, okay, this is his show, but he's still splitting carries with Murray. But he's still like going off is the thing. So it's like, it's scary to think what could be if he took the main workload, 20-some carries, 10, 12, touches out of the backfield. But definitely some good hits right there. Jake, who you got, man?
So for me, I decided to go with a guy that we currently are watching. Just, he's probably one of the best route runners in the NFL right now. And I have to go with Stephon Diggs. He was chosen in the 5th round, and every year is getting better. His first year in the NFL at 22 years old, he was already getting 84 targets. And he had 720 for the yards. And we know Minnesota has never had a great quarterback. So you're putting up these numbers with subpar, maybe mediocre quarterbacks. And just every year is just getting better and better. And then this year he has a good, maybe even solid quarterback, and he put up 1,500 yards. It's insane. Like, Stephon Diggs is a beast, only getting better, and he was a 5th round draft pick.
That's so scary to think that.
How many people were picked in front of him in that 2015 draft? That it's just, and in the 5th round,
it was a lot.
That was a lot.
Yeah,
all props to him.
Yeah, in my eyes, he's definitely top 3 route runner in the NFL. You could state your case for him being number 1. But yeah, he's good. It almost makes you, because I know he had some, I wouldn't call them off-field issues or even on-field issues. He wanted to show the world he was the guy with Minnesota. And obviously with Kirk and his struggles of not just, throwing the ball as much and being inaccurate and whatnot, he grew frustrated, which, I mean, he had every right to be. We all remember the miracle there in, Minnesota against the Saints. That was all Diggs, man. That was all Diggs. Of course, Saints fans, if you're listening, you might want to cut it off right now because of the missed tackle and whatnot. But yeah, man, Diggs.
But that footwork,
really the footwork,
escaping that tackle, that's
it's impeccable. That guy's, he's made Bills fans really, really happy, and especially Josh Allen. But who do you have for your honorable mention?
So I actually I dig deep for this one. I never really saw him play. But Terrell Davis, the running back. Do you know what round he was picked? He was picked in the 6th round of the 95 NFL draft. This dude is a Hall of Fame running back, and he was picked in the 6th round.
That is wild.
He had a 2,000-yard rushing season with 21 touchdowns in 1998.
That is wild.
And that's huge back in '98 too. Like,
Heck yeah. And it wasn't just that. He was receiving too. He had 25 receptions that same year, which isn't that great, but he was averaging 8.7 yards a reception. So he was, even though it was a small dose with the 25 catches that year, but it wasn't like dink and dunk, let me 2 yards. He was getting almost a first down every catch.
Yeah.
that's
That
pretty
was
good.
special.
Yeah.
As
So
far as for my biggest hits, so I know you guys covered a lot of, kind of pretty recent. I know Jake went, back to around the 90s area with his honorable mention. I am going to go back to the 90s. My biggest hit is the man himself, T.O. Terrell Owens, was drafted third round, 89th overall in 1996 out of the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. I don't even know where that is. Obviously, it's in Tennessee somewhere, man, but I don't even know if Tennessee, Chattanooga is still around right now, bro, to be honest with you. But we all know the story of T.O., drafted by the Niners, the career he had there, then went on to the Eagles, the career he had there. I mean, my guy played with a broken leg. He was hurt in the Super Bowl and was still going off. Like, how, man, just how? And just when you thought he was getting a little older, goes to the Cowboys, still having a good career. And I mean, the year he was with the Bengals Chad and Carson for that 1 year, he had a great second half of his career with the Bengals. So to me, right there, that's one of the biggest hits. Is a guy who not many people know. He doesn't expect to come in. They don't expect him to come in to steal the show, especially being drafted by the Niners. I mean, you're playing with Jerry Rice. So you really have no type of, pressure on you. You're just doing your thing. They're over there, worrying about Jerry. And then they got to worry about this kid T.O. getting open all the time. So I definitely see why the Niners were forced to be reckoned with. T.O. was definitely part of that. And then not just there with the Niners, but just pretty much anywhere he went, man. So that is who I have for my biggest hit. And for a honorable mention, I'm going to go to the man, Shannon Sharpe. Shoot, Shannon, man, if you're listening, bro, hit me up. Let me come on the show, man. Debate with you and Skip. I'm a big LeBron fan, just like you, man. Shannon was drafted 7th round, 1990.
7th round?
7th round, bro. 7th round.
I would have went home. I was.
Jeez.
That's a big, big hit. I mean, shoot, you might want to have said to swap mine and have Shannon be my main guy, T.O. be an honorable mention. But yeah, Shannon Sharpe, 7th round, man.
That's insane.
And we all know what that guy's done. He's pretty much helped, revitalize and change the tight end position to more of that receiver and a tight end's body type. So that's why
he was Kyle Pitts before Kyle Pitts.
Oh yeah, easily.
He was Kelsey before Kelsey.
Easily.
He paved the road for all those guys.
Yeah, man, easily. So that's who we have. Let us know again down in the comments. Who are your biggest hits? Did we miss anybody? Obviously, there's so many other people we could talk about. Russell Wilson, drafted in the 3rd round to the Seahawks. I believe it was 3rd round. And obviously, we know the career he's had. Maybe there's somebody else we haven't talked about. So let us know in the comments who you feel is biggest hits and biggest misses. But going off topic, gentlemen, again, we mentioned beginning of the show, NFL draft well underway. We are currently in round 3 of draft night. So, but before we get into some biggest winners and losers, it is only right, gentlemen, that we talk about the mess that is transpiring up there in Green Bay. Now,
do I hear worst franchise in NFL right now? I feel like that's what I'm hearing.
We might be getting there. We might be getting there. But before I get you guys' opinion, I'm going to just read off what has happened within the last 24 hours. And then I will ask for your guys' opinion. So it has come out that Aaron Rodgers is disgruntled with the Packers and that he has told some within the organization that he does not want to return to the team. But it does not stop there. The Packers officials have flown out west where Aaron Rodgers is currently living in attempts to convince him to stay in Green Bay. But obviously nothing has happened. And then it has also come out that the Packers reportedly told Aaron Rodgers they were going to trade him in the offseason, then backed off. But, gentlemen, just when you think Aaron Rodgers is unhappy, okay, he's going to get traded. No, it doesn't end there. I wish it could. I mean, I don't wish it could. I love the drama. Aaron Rodgers is in serious consideration for retirement. My guy had one good stint on Jeopardy and is taking it seriously as a potential career. Jake, I'm going to start with you. Talk to us about what is going on in Green Bay.
That field goal they kicked. That's what's going on in Green Bay.
Oh, no,
Jordan Love in the first round. Jordan
no.
Love in the first round when my man needs wide receiver help.
No.
I mean, we can continue going to where they haven't taken a great position player to help Aaron Rodgers in the first round. They haven't helped him at all. You're not providing. He has Devontae Adams. That's it. I mean, do you blame him? You take Rodgers off. Take
really
Rodgers
don't.
off the Packers. What's their record?
Maybe.
Because we have no idea what Jordan Love is.
Yeah. Dang. Maybe
What's their
4
record?
wins.
4 wins, and that's just because they're the Packers.
Yeah.
And you have Devontae Adams.
I give them 4 wins just because based off how the team is constructed right now. I feel like 4 wins, they would be in some of those games, but they would lose because of the simple fact we don't know what Jordan Love is. Me personally, I'm not one of those to say, man, Jordan Love is bad because of, I think he came out of Utah State.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Josh Allen came out of Buffalo, bro.
Coming out of the small colleges doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree with you. It's, to me, the Packers trading up for Jordan Love in last year's draft was the feather that just slowly dropped down and just
And then
collapsed.
at the end of the NFC game, you basically said, Rodgers, we don't trust you. Let me get my kicker up there.
It just collapsed. And to make matters worse, you think, okay, we're going through the draft. We got to get this guy some help. They drafted a corner. Bro. You had Elijah Moore still on the board, who got drafted in the second round to the Jets.
But we'll talk about that because I'm happy about that. But yeah.
Yeah, man, it's bad. Jason, what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah. Well, just to piggyback on what you guys said, honestly, man, the Packers never really brought him help at all. To even try to trade for somebody in the NFL to bring him help.
Yeah.
They've done poorly in the draft. Ever since they won the championship, you know, they won the Super Bowl. It's been stagnant. Either stagnant or they just went downhill. And Rodgers has done so much for the organization. I mean, he put the organization on his back. He won games for them. I mean, what year was that when he threw that Hail Mary pass against the Seahawks and that was a crazy game. But it shows that how he puts the team on his back. Like, and for them to put the kicker in the NFC game last year and not trusting him, that just shows that they just don't care. And you know what? I mean, I saw something else earlier in the week too, that he was considering going to the Raiders. Like, he wouldn't mind going to the Raiders. But honestly, I think it's really gonna go down to where he might just have to retire, because I don't think Green Bay knows what they have, but they're being really stingy with it. They don't want to let go of him.
Yeah.
And I love the drama, man, because he had to do it on draft day. Like any other time, he could have done it. He
Yeah.
did it right on draft day.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And it's good that you point that out because it was like, oh, we're all focused, NFL draft. These kids are about to have their dreams come true. And Aaron Rodgers said, no, it's about me. I'm unhappy. You got to give me some help. I want out. So it's definitely something to keep watching. That list of teams that he had, it was, I believe, the Niners. It was all West Coast teams, Niners, Broncos, and the Raiders. From my understanding, the Niners, they wanted everything, which I get, but I'm not about to trade you everything. This guy's 37.
Yeah.
If this guy was 30, yeah, I'm gonna give you everything because you're still banking on him for a good 6-7 years possible. But 37, man, to give you number 3 pick, and they just traded about everything away to move up to that. So I can't do that. And they wanted picks. I mean, they wanted players too.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
And just to add, Rodgers sat patiently for 4 seasons. He wasted 4
He did.
years of his career
He did.
quietly, patiently waiting.
Yeah.
And then when they finally said, "All right, take the keys, take the keys. Here's a car. Have as far as you can with this team," and he did. And the year that they won the Super Bowl, he had weapons. He had Greg Jennings, and he had a young Jordy Nelson.
Yep.
You give Aaron Rodgers enough weapons, and he kills it. Even with no weapons, just Devontae Adams and like 3 receivers that could be playing in the Arena Football League right now. He's balling out with them, making them division champs every year. So it's just he has 2 years left on his contract. So retiring, he would have to sit 2 seasons, and then he'd be able to come back as a free agent. Now I don't know if that's the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Favre did it.
I don't know if he loves football that much to want to do that. Like Favre, you understood he loved football.
Yeah.
Obviously Brady, we see he loves football. Breeze, I feel, could have continued. I just feel like Breeze was getting hurt, and that was the deciding factor. Yeah. I don't know if Rodgers. I mean, we'll see. It's definitely a topic that will continue to transpire. You guys let us know down in the comments if you're Packers fans. Are you crying right now? If not, man, you should be because your guy's about to leave the Packers to go host Jeopardy, man. That's Jeopardy.
Why wouldn't you, Jeopardy? as a Packers GM, and I know we'll get off this topic because we've been on it for a while, but why wouldn't you, at this point, he's not happy.
Yeah.
Why are you just going to let him walk and lose the potential of at least getting something for him? Yeah. Whether it's picks next year or it's just a really young guy that has a lot of potential, just hasn't had the right. You need to get something. Like, he's about to walk away, and you're stuck with a corner that you drafted in the first round and Jordan Love as your quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, and just for like a little last point on this, I'm not really mad at the fact that they took Jordan Love because, I mean, it's basically the exact same thing that happened with Rodgers and Favre. So I get that. But it is the past years of him just wanting a weapon. Many people will say, oh, but he's got Devontae Adams. Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with wanting more. And they basically just said, nah, man, you're good. You can just – and granted, Rodgers is one of those types that he can turn a no-name guy into a good guy. But obviously he's been trying to do so with guys like, MVS and St. Brown and whatnot, and they just haven't done so. They haven't taken that opportunity and really ran with it. So it's definitely a spicy topic. If you're Packers fans, we're sorry. Not sorry, man. This is part of the league. You might be the next bad organization right now. But in other off-topic news, just briefly, it was reported that a Tim Tebow signing was maybe about to happen. Apparently, Tim Tebow tried out at tight end for the Jags. Jason, tell me your thoughts, man.
Oh, man. Yeah, that one threw me off when I saw that. Tight end? I mean,
I like it. I feel it's a little
You
too.
like it?
Don't get me wrong. I feel it's a little too late. As a Gators fan, I never saw Tim as a quarterback in the league. Yeah, he had the one good game against the Steelers, wild card, to Demaryius Thomas, game winner. But it's just his throwing motion was too long, and it was already bad because he was a lefty. We know what happens with those quarterbacks who come in as a left-handed quarterback. But he had the physical attributes, the athletic attributes to play fullback, to play tight end. I do feel it's a little too late. I don't know necessarily how old he is. I think he's like 30, 31 or so. And I know
He is 33.
Oh, yeah, 33. So,
Yeah. Well,
He's going to be
my thing is-
34 before the season starts.
oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, Tim, if you're listening, man, I don't know.
Well, my thing is that because I mean, when we see him play at Florida, we didn't see his like catching ability, but we did see his
Yeah.
running ability.
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, I mean, he looks like a really good like third down situation back or fullback.
Yeah.
And
He did slim down. I know he had I know you guys may know a little bit more. I know he had a brief stint with the Mets trying his hand in baseball.
yeah.
Didn't look like it worked out. Obviously, he's trying to shoot a shot back with the NFL. So we'll see. I mean, I'll be here for it. I mean, it is the Jags at this point. They'll take anybody, man. Trevor Lawrence, Sunshine, if you will, as I call him. Remember Titans reference. I mean, they could use him. Who knows? And who knows? You may have Tim Tebow and Lawrence back there. A little trickery. And it's Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer. He was with Urban Meyer back in 06.
Oh, that's right. Urban Meyer
Yeah.
is the coach. Oh,
Yeah, man. So
wow.
we'll see. We'll see.
Wow,
If anybody, if he would come out to do it, I'm not even sure he's retired, but if he would come back to try it, I feel like Urban would be the guy who could potentially to do so. But that is in other news. We'll see what happens with that. Again, as we talked about beginning of the show, the NFL draft, day one happened yesterday. It came, it went. No doubt, if you're listening to this, you're either happy with what your team did or you're sad with what your team did. So we're just going to mention a few winners and losers. If you guys want to take one, just give me one winner, give me one loser. I mean, it can be your favorite team for all we know. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything. So Jake, give me your biggest winners and losers so far of the NFL draft.
So winners, just because I know their needs way more, and it's going to be one of the teams that I follow, I root for. It's going to be the Jets. I think they've made incredible moves last night. Of course, obviously, we knew they were going to get Zach Wilson at number 2. But the trade that they did with Minnesota to get the 14th pick, and they went for Elijah Vera Tucker, a tackle that also plays guard. He's listed as an offensive tackle / guard. So you can play him basically anywhere on the line. And I think that was a great pickup because you have Mekhi Becton, who is phenomenal, was abused by Adam Gase because he was hurt. But yeah, Adam Gase still said, oh, no, we need you because he was fighting for his job. But you start building that line a little bit. You got Zach Wilson out there. And then in the second round, they picked Elijah Moore. That's going to be a great – he's small. He is on the small side. But we've seen that size doesn't matter at wide receiver position.
Yeah.
So,
and then what about biggest losers, you feel?
To be honest, I think I'm going to go with the Raiders. I don't think they grabbed the offensive tackle that didn't have the best grade, and they had a solid pick at 17.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have done a lot more with that pick, or even traded to move up and get maybe like a Devontae Smith. I know you probably had to trade a little bit more, but you need a wide receiver weapon. Henry Ruggs has to still step it up a little bit, but you need to get Derek Carr some weapons. Because as I said before in one of our episodes, it's not Derek Carr's fault. He had a great season last year. So you need to get him some help, but we'll see.
Yeah, man. Jason, who are your biggest winners and losers of the draft?
Yeah, biggest winners, I would have to say the Dolphins, man. The Dolphins are the biggest winners, in my opinion, drafting Jalen Waddle and also Julian Phillips. As far as Waddle, he reunites with Tua. They were college teammates, and they know each other pretty well, like very well. They had a lot of time behind, and on offense for the years that they were at Alabama, and also picking up Julian Phillips. I watched him closely at Miami, the Hurricanes, and he was a really good player, man. Yeah, he was the driving force of that defense. Even especially with all that hype with the Hurricanes were back, he was definitely one of the leading forces on that team. And losers, I would have to say the team we were just talking about, the Packers.
Yeah, man.
I mean, yeah, he's Eric Stokes. I seen him play in Georgia some of his games the SEC games I watched, but he's not gonna. Honestly, he's not going to be a big attribute to the Packers, man. The Packers need to do bigger to keep Aaron Rodgers, or even try to trade their way to a great player. So that's my my winners and losers. And I did want to mention one thing real quick. I was talking to you off air about this with you, Matt. This is very fascinating to me. I don't think I've ever seen this before, but there's 3 wide receiver and quarterback duos that played in college together, not going to play in NFL. You have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
They played with each other in LSU. Now they're playing with each other in Cincinnati. Tua and Jalen Waddle. Obviously, they were. I just mentioned they were playing in Alabama. Now they're playing in Miami. And Devonta Smith and Jalen Hurts. They played with each other in Alabama before Jalen Hurts went to Oklahoma, but they had some time with each other in Alabama, and then reuniting with each other in Philadelphia. So I've never seen that before. Like college teammates now, being duos in the next level. So
yeah, it definitely helps. You already have some good chemistry. Obviously, it's going to only continue to get bigger and better because this is your job now. Me, for my biggest winners and losers, I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears. To have Justin Fields delivered to you is just absolutely great. Now, yeah, they had to trade up for him, but it was the right trade. Obviously, they learned their lesson from a couple years ago when they drafted Mitch Trubisky over Deshaun Watson. Yes, over Deshaun Watson, but it doesn't stop there, gentlemen. Over Patrick Mahomes. Now, look, I'll say this. I'll give you the Patrick Mahomes because of the simple fact nobody knew really who he was coming out of Texas Tech. I mean, I haven't really paid attention to Texas Tech since Graham Harrell and Michael Crabtree days, which was a long time ago. So I can't really say that, but I think they learned their lesson. We're not just going to, they say if you love a guy, go up and get him. So I was really happy to see them go up, get Justin Fields. I mean, yeah, they have Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, but he's just a stopgap. And I know they still have Nick Foles. Those guys aren't your starters. Justin Fields is your franchise, a potential franchise. Obviously, we have to see him play. And they did some good stuff today. In day 2, I saw they went out and got Tevin Jenkins, right tackle out of Oklahoma State. So that's showing you that they're really Pace and Nagy are really trying to fix what was broken. And I mean the defense, Khalil Mack, Roquan Smith, they're Trevathan, they're still there. Eddie Jackson, they're still pretty good. So they're trying to make sure that they hit well. Losers, I might have to side with you there also too with the Packers, just because of the simple fact you needed to make your guy happy. And you said, I mean, we dropped a corner. I heard he ran 4.2. He can just intercept the ball and take it to the crib for you. You don't even gotta get on the field. But hey, we'll talk about that whenever that happens again. So let us know down in the comments. NFL draft is on right now. Obviously, when you guys listen to this, it'll be Monday. Let us know who you feel your biggest overall winners are throughout the whole draft process, as well as losers. But gentlemen, wow, I really can't speak today, huh? Gentlemen, that is going to wrap up our NFL section. We are going to take a brief halftime and hear a word from our sponsor.
Do you have hair? Do you have skin? Do you want to improve both? Contact Sam Ivelisse on Instagram today and begin your healthy hair and skin journey. Click the link in her bio to take a quiz to identify your beauty needs and help you find the best Monet products for you. DM her samples and you will receive your choice of hair or skincare samples. Once again, that's Sam_Ivelisse.
And we are back. We thank Samantha so much for sponsoring us. If you guys know her personally, make sure you hit her up for some products over at, I want to say it's Monat. I may be butchering this. If I am, I'm so sorry.
It is Monet, like the money.
Monet.
Yeah,
oh,
like
I
when,
like that.
yeah,
Oh,
when you came out the ghetto, Matt, when you made it, when you said, "Mama, we made
oh,
it," and you
got
said,
the
"We gonna get the
Monet.
Monet." Yeah, just
Okay,
like
well,
that.
y'all hit up Samantha for some Monet.
Yes.
No, she's not gonna give you some money, but she will make sure your hair's looking like Monet.
And as you
So-
guys heard in the sponsor, the ad, hit her up, DM her with the word samples, and she can hit you up with some free samples.
Yeah, man, get your hair popping. But going into the NBA, we're going to continue on with our theme, and that is biggest hits and misses. Jason, tell me who your biggest misses are for the NBA.
Well. This might be, two of the most popular choices. My first choice is Kwame Brown of the 2001 first round pick. Well, first pick overall, let's say that. Kwame Brown. Now, Kwame Brown, I don't know. I mean, there's so much to say about how he played
Where do
in the
we
NBA.
begin, right? Yeah.
Where we begin. But I did pull up some stats here. And, man, so his best year was his third year in Washington. He averaged 10 points. Okay. 10 points. That was his best year ever. And his worst year was the last year he played. He only averaged a point.
Wait a minute. Hold on. This was your
My guy
number
said
one overall
10
pick.
points.
10 points, bro.
10 points.
That's crazy.
A center and power forward averaging 10 points. That was
Back
your
in the
best
early
year?
2000s when big men almost ruled the league. Goodness. Come on, Kwame.
Kwame, man.
You gotta
Kwame
do
Brown.
better. You gotta do better, Kwame.
Yeah, and there's so many photos online too where because when he got drafted to Washington, he did play with MJ his last year, Michael Jordan's last year in the league, and it was pictures of him like frustrated with him, and then obviously there's pictures with him and Kobe getting on him about his frustrations. So Kwame Brown. So that was my first pick. My honorable mention, and could be easily be my first choice, but I'm gonna go with Greg Oden, 2007 first overall pick. And Greg Oden, I mean, there was so much hype with him in high school, in college, when he went to Ohio State the first year.
Yeah, man.
And then he went to the league and he played by injuries, And the other thing, too, he looked like he was 50 years old playing out there in high school and college.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he had, was it the Benjamin Button syndrome?
Yeah.
You want to call it that?
Yeah,
So,
it was bad. It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, pretty bad, man. So those are my choices for the biggest misses.
Yeah, those are really good. Of course, we all know Kwame Brown and Greg Oden. Greg Oden is. I understand why you went honorable mention with him. I feel it was more injury than it was actually him in his play. I mean, he didn't even play, I think, the first year, if I'm not mistaken. And then it took him, I don't even know if he ever played again for the Blazers. I know he played like a couple games with the Heat. But yeah, he just never got his foot going. The injuries really just kind of hindered him from really showing that first round, true ability. But Jake, who do you have as your biggest misses?
So my first miss is Jahlil Okafor. He was the third overall pick in the 2015 draft. by the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, his first season was actually pretty good. Not going to lie. For a 20-year-old coming into the league, 2015, where big men, like me and Matt always say, weren't that big. That wasn't what you were looking for. Steph Curry was killing the league that year, 15, 16.
Yeah.
So you're going off of that, and the center's not being huge, and he had 17 and a half points. So that's actually pretty good. And he was getting about 8 rebounds a game. So that first season, you're like, oh, man, he's going to be great. Psych, year 2, 11 points.
Sheesh.
It's like, okay, what's going on? Then he goes to 6 points, doesn't start a game, plays 28 games, and does not touch double digits ever again. He is averaging 4.4 points a game right now with the Detroit Pistons.
That's crazy.
Hasn't started either.
That's crazy, man.
That's wild. And he has so much potential, man.
He did. He really did. What do you have as your honorable mention?
So, granted, he's still young, so you never know. Maybe on a different team if something happens. But we just talked about it, and it's your 4th year. We should already, right now, we know if you're a bust or not.
Yeah.
So I went with Josh Jackson. He was the 4th overall pick by the Phoenix Suns. And up and down, man. He's been playing most games. 2019 last year, the 2019-2020 season, only played 22 games as a member of the Grizzlies. 9 points. His best years right now, actually, and that's 13.6. Being the 4th overall pick, you got to be doing more than that. Like, you're not contributing at all. You got traded. In 4 seasons, this is your 3rd team. That tells you something right there.
You're definitely a miss.
Yeah.
Definitely a miss. As far as for my biggest miss, I'm going to go with Anthony Bennett, who was drafted 1st overall in 2013. Now, I'm not really going to elaborate on more on this. All I know is that Anthony Bennett was supposed to save Cleveland, was supposed to be, I believe at that point, from the Cavs GM, who was really just salty that LeBron had left, bigger than LeBron, was going to help bring a championship. I don't even think my guy's in the league right now. That's how bad it is. Anthony Bennett, and I think he was even traded when LeBron came back with Wiggins for Kevin Love. So how disrespectful is that? Your GM comes out, says, oh, he's going to be the next best thing since sliced bread, blah, blah, and then you ship him out. What? Come on, Anthony Bennett, bro. What are we doing?
Real quick, Matt. Anthony Bennett's last season, 2016-2017 NBA season at 23 years old.
Oh, no. My guy was – goodness.
That was his 4th team. Each year was on a different team.
Goodness. That's sad. That's so sad. And this was supposed to be the savior. Man, that's sad.
Yeah.
Honorable mention, I have Adam Morrison, who was drafted number 3 overall to the Lakers. Honestly, man, I'm not even going to elaborate more on this. The guy, just looking at that guy's mustache, it was just bad. He just had butts written all over him, bro. It was bad, man. But here's the thing, though. I can't hate on this. My guy did get 2 rings. He didn't contribute, but he did get them rings, though. So, yeah, you see Adam Morrison in the streets, call him a bust. He going to flash them 2 rings at you. He going to let you know he 2-time champion sitting on the bench, repping for guys like Brian Scalabrine. But, hey, ring is a ring, man. I can't hate on that.
Hey Matt,
Yeah.
There's one player that I think we all kind of like definitely looked over in the NBA. He was hyped a lot. Jimmer Fredette.
Oh, yes. Jimmy Buckets. Oh, my goodness. Yes. Yeah. There was a lot. Also, too, I saw Hashim Thabit. I don't know if you guys remember him.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
7'3" center. He got drafted by the Grizzlies. Was supposed to be this elite, shot blocking defender, maybe Gobert before Gobert was himself. and just it did not work out. Did not work out at all. I can't remember where I think he came from UConn. I want to say he was teammates with Kimba. I
I believe
could be
so, yeah.
wrong. I could be
Yeah, he
wrong.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So you guys let us know down in the comments what you think. Obviously, there's so many. We're probably still missing some. You let us know as far as NBA wise, who are your biggest misses? But we're going to go into our biggest hits now, and I'm gonna actually start off on this one, gentlemen. My biggest hits is a guy who might actually win MVP this year, and that is Nikola Jokic, the Joker. This guy was drafted 41st overall in the second round. Obviously, NBA is only 2 rounds. He was drafted 41st overall in 2014. We know, NBA second round, you're not really expected to kind of come in and contribute. So obviously 2021, it's been, some years. He's obviously been able to get better, and man, do we see it. This guy, Jokic, is paving the way for playmaking big men to come into the league and start their own. He's shown he can have the offense run through him. He can hit the three. He can assist, bring the ball down the court. Murray's not there. He's still balling. Like I said, he could potentially become the MVP of this year just based off of how consistent he's been. And as far as for my honorable mention, I'm going to go with Draymond Green. He was taken 35th overall in 2012. Obviously, we know Draymond Green and his story out of Michigan State, playing with the Splash Brothers and whatnot. Really good defensive guy, a couple rings to his belt. Also can facilitate, run the offense as well. I wouldn't say he started it, but he was kind of helped bring the NBA into that small ball 4 spot that he can shoot. He can, facilitate, not just a big man, but he can also play some really good defense and get some boards. So those who I have for my biggest NBA hits. Jake, who do you have for your biggest NBA hits?
Sorry. So for me, I have Jimmy Butler as my big one. He was taken with a 30th pick right at the end of the first round. But usually if you're not like a top, let's say 5 pick, you're not expected to do much. You're not going to be expected to be, if you're forming any type of big 3, you're not the one or the 2. You're probably that 3rd guy, maybe a good guy that comes off the bench, a solid 6-man. But as we know, and we saw Jimmy Butler last year, which me personally, stat-wise, that wasn't his best season, but just what he did with that Miami Heat team, it just shows you that stats isn't always everything. He was only averaging 19 points a game, almost 20. He averaged more a couple seasons with the Bulls where he's averaging over 22 points. But last year, what he did with that Heat team, being the only star, a bunch of young guys, and he took them to the finals. And those final games where he was on the sideline huffing and puffing because he just couldn't. He was giving it all he had. For me right there, that Jimmy Butler rose to one of my favorite players to watch just off of the hustle and heart that he had. It was insane.
Yeah,
and
he definitely
then
earned a lot of respect from a lot of people.
And then honorable mention, I'm going to go Giannis, okay? He was the 15th pick. But no one expects, like I said, a guy out of the top 5 to win the MVP. Giannis is winning the MVP. He still has a lot to grow trying to get that jump shot. But I feel since 2017, he's been averaging over 23 points a game. So that was only his 4th year in the league. So for 15th pick, he's the number 1 player probably in the NBA. That's up for discussion. But at least stat-wise, popularity. No one expects a 15th overall pick to be MVP. So I have to put him as my honorable mention.
Yeah, those definitely some good ones. Definitely some good ones right there. What about you, Jason? Who you got?
Yeah. My first choice is Julius Randle. Even though he went, he was picked in the first round from Kentucky. But his first season, he was plagued by injury. I think it was a knee injury he had. That he was out for a whole season for the Lakers. He came back and, played some minutes and and play. He scored some points, but his stock was rising. Like his I think it was his 4th year or 5th year. He went to New Orleans, and he was playing really good ball there. Played really good ball in New Orleans, and then they traded him to the Knicks, to my New York Knicks, also Jake's New York Knicks, and he's playing lights out this year. He's in the talks of being an MVP for this year, and helping the Knicks turn, their whole franchise around. Not even the season, the franchise around, because the Knicks were not doing well for years, ever since Carmelo left. And so he definitely put, the whole city, the whole state on his back, and he's playing lights out. And he's the biggest hit, in my opinion, biggest hit for the Knicks as well. And so that's my pick. And my second honorable mention, my second pick, or my honorable mention, is Damian Lillard. Even though he went in the first round, 6th pick overall in the first round, 2012. He came from a college that nobody really knows about, Weber State.
Yeah, man.
But he's a dog, man. He's a dog. He night in, night out, he fights for his team. He plays lights out from on the offensive side, defensive side, and we see how chippy he can get when he's being challenged on the court. And so, but definitely the biggest hit, and he's also putting, the whole state of Oregon on his back to help them to get to the playoffs each year. And I just pulled up something right now. It's funny because my Knicks, it's from the New York Post. It says the Knicks watching for opportunity to pry Damian Lillard from the Blazers. So I hope that can happen. That can happen,
that'd be
man.
big.
That'd be huge. Yeah.
That'd be really big.
Yeah, because I know Lillard doesn't believe in, like creating a big three, or, he's very to himself. He's like, I'm not going to go to a place where I can easily win a championship. I'm going to.
Yeah, he wants to challenge. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So those are my picks.
Yeah, man, those are really some good ones. Definitely good honorable mention there. And Dame Dollar himself. We all love some Damian Lillard, man. That he's on another level. Clutch time is Dame time. Mm-hmm. Love that guy, man. But you guys let us know, the regulars, who you feel are some big NBA busts, big NBA hits, or maybe if you just agree with the guys we said. But going off topic, gentlemen, not too much happened as far as lately when it comes to the NBA. But NBA playoffs are going to be starting in a couple of weeks. So we just want to go ahead and take a look at the conferences to kind of get us a little geared up for NBA basketball to come up with. So we're going to look at the NBA conferences. Eastern Conference we'll start off with, and I'll probably just go through the top 8 teams to start off with, and you guys just let me know who you feel is doing good. Now look, I know that both of you are Knicks fans.
Put some respect on it.
Let me finish. I know that both of you are Knicks fans. All right. If this sucker goes longer than 20 minutes, I'm going to edit this and make it seem like it was a minute long. All right.
Just take a break real quick, Matt.
Just take a break real quick to make it not as long. That's all I'm saying. But getting into the conferences, Eastern Conference, we have at the top, the Brooklyn Nets are sitting atop the Eastern Conference for right now. They're just a game up on the 76ers at number 2. You have the Milwaukee Bucks at number 3. The New York Knicks are at number 4. The Atlanta Hawks come in at 5. Boston Celtics at 6. The Miami Heat at 7. And the Charlotte Hornets are at 8. So, gentlemen, give me something that you see out of this top 8 that has you happy.
So obviously I'm ecstatic about the Knicks, but one thing I do want to bring up that I could see possibly happening. So the Hawks lost Trae Young. Granted, it's not for a long time. It's not for the end of this. He's not out for the season, but they did lose him. And a team that has been playing really well is the Washington Wizards. Their last 10 games, they're 9-1. They're not out yet. They're definitely in the play-in right now. So I could definitely see them just heating up and moving up into the standings, and I can see the Hawks moving down. Celtics are picking it up. Heat are staying at 500, 5-5 their last 10. Hornets are 3-7. They're waiting for LaMelo to come back. So we'll see how the bottom part heats up, but I think the top four are going to stick, to be honest. I don't think the Knicks really have that much to lose
Yeah.
because I don't see any of these other teams really getting past them because the Knicks are keeping up with everybody. So I'm excited about the Knicks. Say what you want, man. The Knicks were not supposed to be here. They were not supposed to be here. And just like Jason said, Julius Randle is not only carrying the team, he changed the culture.
Yep.
They changed the front office, and that front office is changing it. They're making New York Knicks a destination again. So be excited, people.
Yep.
Be excited.
Yeah, man. I'll say this. I'll join in on the Knicks love for just a split second. I
About
said
time.
last week. I mean, I still think they get about first round, but that's just me. I said this last week. If the New York Knicks are playing good basketball, it is good for the NBA in general. When New York, and it's not just the Knicks. Yeah, the Brooklyn Nets are also playing pretty good. I mean, pretty good. They're number one seed in the East so far. So when the whole state of New York is just doing really good as far as basketball as a whole, I feel is really good. I mean, LA, when California is also doing this, when you have both those teams, it's really good to see. Just briefly, one good thing that I liked from these 8 teams, I'm gonna give some love to the Charlotte Hornets, man, holding it down. No LaMelo Ball yet. He's trying to come back from the wrist. It was slated that he was potentially out for the rest of the year, but it looks like he might be able to come back. Hopefully he can. What him and Miles Bridges have going as far as that chemistry, and you add in Scary Terry, man, they're really exciting to watch. I definitely say that. So hopefully, and it'll be good experience for him and those young guys to get some playoff experience. Yeah, they might lose, round 1 to the Brooklyn Nets if these, standings stay true. But it's still good. Rookie year, potential rookie of the year. Get into the playoffs, earn some experience, and go from there. But what about you, Jason? What do you like so far from this top 8?
Yeah. So you guys brought up a lot of great points, but the first thing I love, man, is my Knicks. My Knicks are doing well. Just like Jacob said, we were not supposed to be here. I mean, it was just talks last year, like management was rough. I mean, the owner, James Dolan, he didn't care at all. So it's like, what's the Knicks going to do, But from the draft last year, actually, last year, when we got Obi Toppin from Dayton, and he's a Brooklyn native, a New York native. So I've been watching him in college ball. He's pretty well. So I like when we got that pick, and then previously we got R.J. Barrett, and then now we got Julius Randle. I mean, we got a good team going forward, and I like them a lot. And like you said, Matt, when the Knicks are playing well, it's good for basketball in general.
Yeah,
it's
man.
good because it's beautiful to see, and it's crazy because LeBron said the same thing. He said in the tweet, like, it's good for basketball the Knicks are playing well.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they're playing well, man. And honestly, I feel like they're like a piece or a couple pieces away from being really serious contenders in the league.
I'd agree.
And yeah, so I love it, man. And then to piggyback what you said, and I've been saying this for a while, man. The Charlotte Hornets, man, they're a team to watch out for the next few years, and because they are young, they're fearless,
Really
and
young.
if they can, and if they can stay healthy, like LaMelo Ball coming back before the playoffs, man, they can make some noise. They make some serious noise. So, but yeah, that's what I love, man, from the Eastern Conference. Brooklyn Nets are playing really good basketball, but honestly, I feel they showed their weakness already this year, and the weakness is if their players are not healthy, they're not going to do well. And so they need all their players to be healthy for them to win the championship. Because if one of the players are out, man, it's going to be a struggle. So as crazy as that sounds, but if they not healthy, they're not going to win a championship.
Yeah, definitely. So moving on into the Western Conference, leading the conference. I'll say this for PJ's sake, man. Utah Jazz.
Boo.
Nobody really. It's the Jazz. It's the Jazz, man. Utah Jazz. Number 2, Phoenix Suns. Number 3, LA Clippers. You got the Nuggets at 4, Lakers at 5, Mavericks at 6, Blazers at 7, and the Grizzlies at 8. I'm gonna start this one off, and no, it is not going to. I'm not going to talk about the Lakers. I want to give some major love to probably my first team. If you know me, yeah, I'm jumping the bandwagon a lot. Hey, it's whatever, bro. I'm going to give my love to my first team that I actually loved to watch growing up that made basketball fun for me, and that's the Phoenix Suns.
Nice.
The Phoenix Suns have clinched a playoff berth since 2009 when they had Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire. That is big time. Devin Booker has been slept on for so long, man, and it seemed like he was just dying over there in Phoenix. Here comes CP3, franchise savior. We saw what he did with the Thunder, took them to the playoffs. Yeah, they lost, but the fact that they weren't even – I mean, like you said, they weren't even supposed to be there. Just like, the Knicks, they weren't even supposed to be here. Thunder weren't even supposed to be there, still made it. And here they are, second best record. And here's the funny thing. They're only a game back of the Jazz. So they could still potentially become your number one, seeded team in the West. And that's saying a lot for them. Stop sleeping on Devin Booker for, those of you who are listening. If you are, please wake up because that guy is legit. He is very serious. But that's what I love to see as far as when it comes to these Western Conference standings. What about you, Jason? What do you love?
Yeah, piggyback what you're saying is the Suns, man. The Suns, it's funny because I wanted to add it to what you said. Like, I remember back playing NBA Live, the team I would choose was the Phoenix Suns. To play with them on NBA Live.
That running gun. It was they didn't have no defense, but the offense was legit.
Yeah, it was unstoppable. But it's great to see that Phoenix Suns are playing great basketball and Devin Booker's getting help. And Chris Paul, look, Chris Paul, like he's aging like fine wine, just like LeBron. They're playing well. They continue to play well. Consistency is there. It's beautiful to see, man. And I want to, because I did mention him earlier, I want to give some love to Trailblazers. They're playing lights out. They're dogs out there, and they gave Carmelo Anthony the chance to play in the league again, man. Because Carmelo was going everywhere, and nobody was giving him that chance. And
he finally got his role.
Exactly, yeah, and he's playing like he was in his prime. There's some glimpse of him putting some moves on some guys, and especially young guys, and that watch him grow up, and it's crazy to see, but it's exciting, man. The West always is always like that. They always have the exciting, drama before the playoffs.
Yeah,
because everybody's like a game or two from each other to pass each other. So yeah, that's what I'm excited about the West.
What about you, Jake?
So I think we're all on the same page with the Suns, mainly for Book. Like Devin Booker, man, since he got into the league has been nothing but excellent. Like
a walking bucket.
Yeah, we want to talk about players being disrespected. Devin Booker is 1B and 1A is Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
Probably the two most disrespected players in the NBA. It is ridiculous. I am so happy that Devin Booker is finally going to get that playoff run. I honestly can see them going deep with the Lakers. I think I could see the Western Conference Finals being Lakers-Suns. And the only reason why you can't sleep on the Lakers, they're the 5th seed, and they haven't had LeBron for almost a month and a half about. And AD a little bit longer. Obviously, AD's back, but before both their stars were out. So they were just they were moving along, but they kept it steady. Another team that I'm actually really like, I love watching him play. It's Luka Doncic. Like that Mavs team with Luka. You take Luka out, and that Mavs team is on the bottom of this Western Conference. They're playing with the Rockets. They would have been out already. They would have been playing for trying to see who gets the first round pick. But Luka's killing it. There's a lot of young guys in this Western. You got John Morant with the Grizzlies. That man is bad.
Yeah.
So let me get a big three with Luka, John Morant, and Lillard. All right, let me put all three of those on one team, and let's see what happens. That'd be a dream. But this Western Conference is nice.
Yeah.
I don't see the Nuggets or Jazz doing anything, to be honest. They have too many injuries.
Yeah, it's definitely going to heat up, like you said, man. Like I said, I could have easily just, the Lakers, they're staying afloat. LeBron's not even back. Obviously, he's the missing puzzle piece that makes that engine go. So we'll see what happens when he gets back. Obviously, I still think they make the playoffs if he decides he wants to come back a week before the playoffs.
Isn't he playing tonight?
I
think so.
It was rumored that he was going to give it a go, and if he couldn't, I think the next game
Sunday,
against the Jazz, he was for sure going to give it a go. So
gotcha.
AD's back. It doesn't look like he's on a minute restriction anymore. He dropped, I think, 26 in the points in the loss against the Wizards.
Jeez.
So
dude didn't play for 2 months and comes back. I'm gonna drop 26 real quick.
Right.
All right. So real quick, I just want to hear what you guys think about this. So NFC. I'm not NFC. Wow. Western Conference Finals. This is why we're the regular guys. So Western Conference Finals, Suns, Lakers. Who are you taking? And I want Jason to join in on this too.
I'm gonna go first. Obviously, LeBron bias. I'm gonna take the Lakers in 5. This is no shade to the Phoenix Suns. I absolutely love what you're doing. Keep it up. Booker, CP3, Aiden. Those guys are eating right now. But man, LeBron and company is just, when he comes back, it is just too much depth. I don't know who will be guarding Drummond. I don't know who's going to guard Anthony Davis. I don't know who's going to guard LeBron James. I don't even know if DeAndre Ayton can guard AD or Drummond. And if he can, you can only choose one.
That's true. That's very true.
Which, and that's the thing. Whoever you choose, the other one's going to eat. So, I mean, they have Booker, CP3, and the Lakers got guys like Dennis Schroeder, Alex Caruso, KCP. I'm not saying that they're going to lock those guys down per se, but they are more bodies who can be thrown at, CP3, Booker, who are mainly the engine that's keeping that team running and, that drives them, that gets them started. So, me personally, I'm going to take Lakers in 5.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to take the Suns in 7. I feel like the Suns can pull it out. They don't have the depth as the Lakers, but they have playmakers on their side, and especially when Chris Paul and Devin Booker are on the game, it's really tough to beat them. And Chris Paul, like, there's times where you don't expect him to do the things he does, and he just pulls out of his hat like a 50-point game or just enough to help this his team to win. So I feel like the Suns can pull it out, but I mean we all know the Lakers is probably going to be the one that's going to win the series, but I have my pick as the Suns winning in 7 because I feel like they have enough to where they can give enough trouble to the Lakers. So that's my pick.
I will say
the disrespect.
A bigger threat than the Jazz will.
The disrespect that Matt said, Lakers in 5. Like, that's just I just said Devin Booker is the most disrespected player. You say, yup. And then you go ahead and say Lakers in 5. How dare you?
Here's the thing. It's not disrespectful because he's making it to the championship game.
Oh, okay.
This is the biggest boss right here. You got to get
it's like
past
saying,
the big
hey,
boss.
she has a nice personality. Hey, at least you made it this far, but
I mean,
no
we could also say
disrespect.
the disrespect
What the heck?
that Jason chose the Phoenix Suns over the reigning champions after they've added Drummond.
But he said 7 games. He still said it was a great
Bro.
series.
Yeah,
So
I didn't
tell,
say in
so
4.
tell me this.
That's disrespectful.
Last little comment before we go into the hype. When healthy, who's better team-wise? The Nuggets team that we saw in the playoffs or this Phoenix team? I'm talking Murray's back, everything.
I gotta go Nuggets, man.
So if you're going Nuggets, we saw what LeBron and company did to that team. Without Drummond, I think I rest my case.
The only reason why I don't say Nuggets is because you got CP3. CP3 at point is different.
No, he definitely is.
I'll take CP3 over Murray any day.
I would agree. I would agree with that. I just don't think it's enough. I don't
I
think
mean,
they
I
have
get it, but 44 and 18, no injuries in a Western Conference. That's solid. No injuries for the Suns.
enough.
44
We're
and
talking
18.
about the championship game, Jake. That's a
All right,
whole
you know what?
different
Let's
league.
just see till it happens. I don't appreciate the disrespect. I asked a simple question, and you went 5 games. I don't like that.
Yeah,
We
man. I
can
mean, I
move
could have said
on.
swept. I could have said they sweep them. That's really
All right, so let's
I at
talk
least
about
said the
what we're hype
Suns.
about.
I could at least say that, the Suns. I gave them one game, bro. I gave them one game, man. But
Jeez.
we're gonna go into the hype. That was the end of our NBA section. Let us know in the comments what you think in that hypothetical. Can the Suns dethrone the Lakers and become the new face of the Western Conference? Let us know. We would definitely love to hear your thoughts on that. But going into the hype, gentlemen, Jason, start us off, man. What's something you're hyped about?
Yeah, what I'm hyped about, it's a sport that we didn't talk about tonight, but I'm hyped about my Yankees. Even though they're not playing great ball right now, but they're starting to get their stride back. They won tonight, actually. It was a blowout win, but 26 games into the season, I mean, it's early. It's early in baseball terms. There's a lot to be played for. They're only, I think, 3.5 games back from their division. So, I mean, sometimes teams have fast starts. Some teams have slow starts. So, but it's too early to give up on this New York Yankee team. They're loaded on both sides of on offense and defense, and batting and pitching. And so I feel like they can definitely pull it off to the point where they can be back into the postseason and ultimately make it to the World Series. I feel like they have all the pieces they need. They might need to add some pieces during trade deadline. But other than that, that's what I'm hype about. Big Yankee fan, grew up watching them when I was a kid. And I bought some gear this year just to really support them. So that's what I'm hyped about for this year.
Nice. Okay, baseball. I probably fell asleep during that. I'm not gonna lie. But
Again with the disrespect.
But Jake, tell the people, man, what you're hyped about.
So first of all, before I go into that, I wish I could talk about baseball, Jason, but I was grounded from baseball. Okay, I wish I could. Look, Matt's out here stretching. Y'all can't see this, but Matt is out here stretching. Like if I'm doing some type of lecture on some science for 30 minutes, I said the word baseball and he's already
I gotta
tired.
stay awake, man. I gotta
All
stay
right,
awake.
you know what? Disrespectful. All right, so what I'm hype about, we just touched on it in the NFL section, the Jets. Now, I'm a Giants and Jets fan, okay? So I've seen success with the Giants. 2 Super Bowls. I haven't seen a Super Bowl L. So I know what it's like to have that successful team.
Yeah.
The Jets have never been a team that has had it all. Those 2 years that they went to the AFC Championship, Matt brings it up all the time, and it's true. Defense, run game. That's it. The front office wasn't great, and the coaching staff wasn't 100%. This year, they have such a great coaching staff, potentially. A lot of good players. They have a great O-line coach. Hopefully, Robert Saleh's good. But Joe Douglas as the GM is killing it right now. Had a very great draft last year, and he's doing really good right now. So I'm excited. Let's see what happens. I'm not going to be one of those Jets fans that are saying Super Bowl bust because that's ridiculous. But I will definitely take at least 8-8, 9-6 as successful for this year. So I'm excited about
Good
that.
pick. Really good pick.
Nice. Something that I would say I'm hyped about is I have to go with the NBA playoffs coming up in a couple weeks. I believe it was May 22nd or something. I think it's a Saturday is when they finally kick off. Love NBA basketball, especially with the simple fact LeBron's coming back pretty healthy. And, once him coming back with, AD and Drummond and whatnot just makes good basketball. It's going to make the West even more harder than it already is. So I'm really excited about that. Playoff basketball is a beautiful time of the year. So, and it gives us something to watch, man. Normally, I think, I think it's the same time. Playoffs would have been started at the same time. So, but yeah, that's what I'm hyped about. So we did reach out to you guys, the regulars, to see what you were hyped about. And we had the folks over there at Kanaya Rose respond, and they were hyped about drinking some coffee in the morning. Now, it is nighttime. I know you're not drinking coffee now, but hey, we appreciate you commenting on what you're hyped about. For you guys listening, make sure you guys interact with us in our story. We try to include you guys as much as we can. Let us know what you're hyped about, man, each and every week or for the month of May or whatever it is, and we'll make sure to shout it out on the show. But, gentlemen, that is going to be it. We thank you guys so much for tuning in, listening to us. If it may have seemed like it gone a little bit too long, that's just because we have so much with the draft going on. But we thank you guys so much. We, again, can't thank you enough for the support that you give us. We ask that you continue to support us and along this journey. Like, subscribe, tell a friend about us, share our podcast to many people. Interact with us again on our Instagram page. That's where we really want to show you guys that we do listen, we do care for what you guys have to say. And we also give a big thanks to Jason for coming in and stepping in to do the show with us. Jason, you got any last words?
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on your podcast. I love it. This is actually my first podcast I ever been a part of, or so it's great to actually speak on something that we all love is sports. So I definitely appreciate you guys having me on. I'm forever grateful, and I'm looking forward to being a guest again, and down the line, with you guys, my brothers. So yeah, it was amazing time to spend together and talking sports and see that what us regular guys have in mind and just just talking sports and just talking life in general. So thank you so much, you guys.
Yeah, man, definitely. And that's mainly the motto of the show. We're just regular guys talking sports, inviting regular people like yourself to come on and talk sports with us, while regular listeners like you guys listening now, the regulars. So Jake, closing words and end us out, man.
Again, just want to say thanks to Jason. I've known him for a while too. Really good friend, good guy. I love that he supports us. It's great. We want more support from you guys, more support from our friends. And please, 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 any type of criticism is constructive criticism. We appreciate it. We have a lot of our friends and families that tell us, hey, try doing this. Oh, this didn't sound right. Try talking about this. We want to get you guys interested. If we're not talking about something, there's a topic you want us to learn. Maybe it's a sport. Let us know. We'll look into it. We'll try to, teach ourselves, get some information on it so you guys are interested. But like, comment, share, subscribe. Peace!
Regular Guys Podcast.